Branch Davidian church compound in Waco, Texas in 93 or 4 was an incident where the church was a multicultural church where the pastor was supposed to be seducing the virgin village virgins, and he was an anti-government type guy, and he had some machine guns, and the ATF got wind of this, and they began staking the guy out to arrest him. And he locked himself up in the compound with 300 men, women, and children, and refused to come out. And for like 58 days, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency surrounded his compound and had a Mexican standoff, was waiting on him to come out. He wouldn't come out, so they waited and waited and waited. Well, Bill Clinton, the president at the time, was very intolerant of anyone who opposed gun laws denying citizens the right to own machine guns. So he got his little Janet Reno, the Attorney General at that time, the Miami, she was a Miami prosecutor for years. She ran on the campaign of being hard on child molesters. And the thing is, it was found out that she had convicted 4 or 5 men of so-called child molesting down there to get a good public image of being hard on that type of a crime, and they were innocent. And so she was propelled into the highest police agency in the United States, the Attorney General's office. And so she was Bill Clinton, who was a socialist, a police state socialist. She was Bill Clinton's right arm woman, who he instructed to go to a federal judge and get a court order to arrest the Branch Davidian people by force. And so Bill Clinton ordered the ATF, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency, to go into that compound by force and drag these people out. Well, the ATF went in there and shot the wrong kind of gas, the incendiary bombs to run them out, and they set the place on fire. And the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency went in there and murdered. They basically burned to the ground all 300 of these people in the Branch Davidian compound. And the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency is the subject in this discussion. They are an unconstitutional organization. They hunt down citizens for owning firearms, so-called illegally. They come in with their warrants. They mean to execute you if you fight them in any way, if you elude them in any way. Their sole purpose is to kill you or arrest you. And these unconstitutional murderous agents working for the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency they also murdered at Ruby Ridge. You remember the incident up in Idaho where the guy had a sawed-off shotgun living up in the mountains in Idaho, and the ATF surrounded his place to put a warrant on a citizen for owning a gun. Went up there and shot his wife in cold blood, assassinated his wife, standing on a cabin in the evening time. They executed her, shot her in cold blood. And it was these two incidents that produced a man called Timothy McVeigh, and we all remember him hooking up with the Muslims to learn the art of making large-scale bombs using fertilizer, and he set fire to that federal courthouse down there, and he killed 146 people in that explosion that he set off. And it was because he claimed he was retaliating against the U.S. court systems because they are the ones that took the warrants out for the arrests on the Ruby Ridge person and on the Branch Davidian. And you must realize it's this evil socialist police state mentality that we seen in the 90s, the early 90s, under Bill Clinton's watch. Remember, he was the guy in 94 that pushed to pass laws making it a federal offense for an ex-felon to own a firearm in his own home for his own self-defense when he's living an honest life. And it was this Bill Clinton and his anti-gun socialists in the Congress who passed these laws. We at exfelon.biz are working to restore your rights to own firearms and to seal your criminal records up. By the way, let it be unknown that if you are a convicted felon, your life is not entirely in danger. Under federal law, even though they made it illegal for you to own regular type firearms, there is an extent, you do have the right under federal law to own black powder muzzleloader type firearms. These are firearms that are considered antique replicas. You can buy them through the U.S. mail. You've got to load them with powder cap and ball, and you do not need a permit to own these. Under federal law and several state laws, you do have the right to do this. But we're fighting the ideological belief of National Socialism, which is what Bill Clinton and several of his followers in the Congress promoted. And anytime you promote this kind of an evil, it will backfire on you.